Hi, I'm Antonio Centeno, the founder of Real Men Real Style, and today we're going to be addressing the question, what shirt manufacturers work best for different body types? Okay, if you haven't already, please subscribe to our YouTube channel. By doing that, these videos will come right to you. And if you like this, if you find it useful, please click on the like button right down there. In addition, grab our free 47-page ebook. It's free and it's great, and I think you're going to enjoy it. And last but not least, I'm going to link you to an article which is going to expand on what I'm talking about. Okay, this is the question that came in. I'm a relatively built man, and it gives me a lot of problems when buying dress shirts. Pants and jackets I can pick up at any old thrift store, but I can't seem to find a good fitted shirt short of dropping $30 per shirt at the tailor's. As a student, I'm looking for a way around this. I'm wondering if you could do a post on which shirt manufacturers work best for what builds. I know they use different models and they use different designers, but I just want basically to figure out how this all works. Okay, so that was the question that came in, and unfortunately, I think I know what he wants. He basically wants a database, and for us to have, Calvin Klein or Charles Twitt or all the Brooks Brothers, and then to break out exactly what their measurements are and how, all their sizing works, because he is right. Different companies use different models to make different types of shirts in the different fits, But the problem with what he's asking is that it's not a steady target. It's very difficult because every year these guys are changing the demographic that they're going after and the target market. So the demographics are changing in countries. So it used to be in the United States that if you bought a shirt off the rack in the 1960s, it was a trimmer build. In the year 2012, we are a much bigger people. So most of the shirts being manufactured are for bigger people. So the problem there is that over time, these demographics shift. And so that does change. You'll find that Brooks Brothers is changing the actual models and the sizing of that. In addition, these companies oftentimes are bought, or they'll decide to change the focus of who they're going after. So one year, the medium will be towards this target demographic. 2 years later, they decided to go after this group who goes for a different type of fit. And so you can imagine, I think building a database like this sounds like, really cool thing to do, but is going to be well beyond the scope of anything I'm going to go after. So I would rather instead arm you with this basic advice, which I think you can apply and then go out there and find what you're looking for. So you need to remember the general rules are that depending on the country of origin and where it's manufactured and the price point it is sold at is generally going to give you an idea of what demographic they're going after and how it's going to fit. So if it's made in the United States, it's usually going for a larger man, and those are going to be bigger, more generous cuts. If it's targeting and being sold in Japan, it's going to be for a smaller, more petite cut. If it's going to be targeted and sold in the UK, then that's going to be for a little bit more fit of a cut, although those guys over there are getting pretty big too, so they're getting more towards Americans. But normally those shirts are going to be a bit more tailored, a bit closer fitting to the body, but the colors are going to be pretty simple. Now, if it's made for Italians, it's going to be made for close to the fit of the UK for a little bit smaller of a man, but the colors, they're going to have a lot more vibrant colors, and they're going to be louder, so it fits with the personality. Again, those are very general, but that gives you an idea. If you're looking online, if you want to buy something made by an Italian manufacturer that's primarily sold in Italy, you may want to go for that if you want a little bit closer of a fit and you want it with a little bit louder colors. Now, price point. The smaller and the lower the price point, they're going to try to fit more men. So if you buy a dress shirt at Walmart, you're going to find that that's going to usually be very big and very baggy because they are trying to fit 100 different body types into that dress shirt. Now, if you go to a high-end men's store and you see dress shirts being sold from $200 to $500, you can bet that they're going after a much more set demographic. It's going to usually be a man that takes better care because he's got more disposable income. He takes better care of his body. Now, for the man that sent us this question, it sounds like what he needs to do is identify those types, those higher end, and I don't know what his color or fabric tastes are, but let's say he does like a little bit more color. Well, I would say look at clothing that's Italian, identify some Italian brands, and then go on eBay or perhaps go into thrift stores, put out, a bounty perhaps, and ask people to be looking for these particular brands. Now, there are cities like New York, they actually have places where a lot of these brands go into a store and you can go through. Smaller towns, it's going to be really hard. But then again, you may want to look at some vintage clothing because a lot of the stuff made 30 to 40 years ago, before we were eating all this manufactured, processed food, and we weren't as big as we are. You can tell my opinion on this, but in any case, clothing made 30 to 40 years ago was usually a bit trimmer. Okay, and the last thing I would say, if he's spending $30 to $40 per shirt, it may be worth his time to actually learn to put in darts himself. They're not very difficult. You can pick up a book for a couple dollars and learn how to do it yourself and save yourself a lot of money. So that's my answer to, the which shirt manufacturer. Sorry for those of you that were looking for me to actually break it all out, but that's a huge project. If you have done this project, let me know, and I'll put a link to you down below. But as far as I have seen, nobody's done this. Take care. This has been Antonio Centeno with Real Men, Real Style. I'll see you in the next video.